Welcome to another RES Wave update. So in this particular video, I'm going to be quickly going over the NASDAQ and how I see these waves and what they mean. Now, I've done this before, but since then I've had a little bit of time to think about what I could be seeing here, and I've come to a bit of a different conclusion. Now, the thing that really strikes me about this chart is down the bottom here, we have a 1-2. It's a very small little hump that never made a new low. Now, for some reason, that's the only thing that doesn't make sense in this whole thing, which is why I decided to change my count up the top to see what happens. Now, let's just say this is a 1-2, very small, very insignificant little 1-2. We can definitely say that wave 3 was the longest wave of this entire move. But once wave 3 ended in around September 2018, we started to see this pattern. Okay, so I decided that this is how I'm going to see it. Okay, so we have our wave A, a B, a C, a D, and then a very small E. And that's how I can see that wave 4 made its completion here. Okay, but that's not really the interesting part, because anybody could just throw in a wave count and, go from there. But the thing that gets me about this is that it's different than the Dow Jones, right? Now, if you're looking at this D wave and you're thinking, oh, that's a pretty sharp looking D wave, well, either end or, each end of this move is more impulsive than the middle part. So to me, there's not really much else to say apart from it's just a sharp D wave, right? And so therefore I thought, well, this must be a pretty small wave E, right? So then I got into investigating what are all the patterns that are happening after that time. Okay, so let's go to the 1 hour chart. Okay, now if we go back to the beginning of that move, right, this is what I consider the E wave. So this would be basically where you'd put your magenta line and you'd say, well, you see, if we break this magenta line, then we're finished. We can confirm that wave 4 is over and we're moving higher. Well, that happened, and obviously we're moving higher, but we can't exactly use the measurement down the bottom of the start of the move to give us any indication of how long this will be. So to me, I just started pulling this thing apart. Okay, so straight away, I'm like, okay, this has got to be a small 1. Right now, we've seen a small 1-2, 1-2 before, so it's not like this is the first time, right? Down the bottom, as I said. These little waves do happen and they mean something. Okay, but in this case, it's a bit more complex. We have a 1, A, B, C, D, E. So wave 2 ended here, right? So then I consider this to be wave 3, right? Now, when wave 1 is the smallest wave, wave 3 and wave 5 tend to be similar in length. So if we're going to go based on that, we need to find the end of wave 4, and I consider that to be around here, right? Because we have our 3, 3, 5, 3, 5 pattern. So you got a CDE pattern there, right? So then simply put, what I do is I just measure the distance of wave 3 and come up with a target. And that target is around 15,643 approximately, right? So that just tells me at this point in time that this could be getting close to the end of the move, well, since the beginning of the trend, right? And so you might be thinking, okay, well, that's original, Mike. I've heard that one before. But the thing is that when you look at the 5-wave move that this has created, right? Now I'll go to the 4-hour chart just to illustrate this part here. Okay, you've got wave 1, and then you've got the end of wave 2, right? So that means that wave 2 went up to this height, right? I'll make that yellow So you can see it, right? And that means that if this is wave 4 went into the price territory of wave 1 and 2, which means that this is basically a type 1 ending diagonal, wave 5, right? Because of that particular kind of weakness. Now, if you look back at the whole thing, right, everything looks fairly, straightforward, except for this last move that we're seeing now. That does not look straightforward at all, which makes me really wonder, is this getting closer to the top, right? Now, I'll do a separate video on what I believe is the latest on the 10-year bond yield, right? Which will help sort of understand why I'm starting to think that this could be a turning point for the markets. Okay, now, aside from the US dollar, which obviously I cover, and aside from cryptos, which I cover, this is just particularly interesting when it comes to the NASDAQ and the bond yield. So I'll do a separate video on the bond yield, but I just basically want to give you a quick zoom out just to show you that full pattern since 2008, and basically that looks like it's almost a complete 5-wave move. So hopefully you found this video interesting and informative. Thank you for watching.